Hello, orienteering people. Welcome to another race recording. This time it's a long distance race in category H40 that I'm running. 7.2 kilometers, 16 controls. So let's go. Here I'm going basically straight to control number 1. When I oriented my map. Here I started, going around this green patch of young forest. That was like my first anchoring point. And then from there I basically took a bearing and just ran straight. So it was quite a long distance. The slope was not big, but it was noticeable. So when I was somewhere around the half of this leg, I already started feeling tired, etc. Here, as you can see, there is another patch of, younger green forest. It is clearly visible on the map, so that was also kind of my anchor point. Then I saw this narrow ride, but I was thinking, well, let's cut it through the forest, because I wouldn't be running much faster through the narrow ride anyways. This forest was very nice, very open, very runnable, let's say. So here I got to that basically vehicle road, like for really cars. And now I again started to follow my bearing. Basically I was aiming for this again younger forest that is on my right side, and yes, that's basically it. Now there is also this kind of clearing around this forest that was for me something new. Usually I don't see that in our forest, but it was something that also caught my eye, and that I used as my anchor point. And probably here around this point I already knew that I need to run a little bit to the left, and I wanted to get to that narrow rides here. The thing is that I think I got to this junction. That was fine, but my map was not correctly oriented at this point, so I had to realign it. That's why I stopped, and then I simply continued to the end of this narrow ride, and the control was clearly visible there. Since I had the map already oriented basically in the direction where is my second control, I just ran straight and didn't really stopped. Yeah, that's something I'm still trying to learn. But as you can see now, I slowed down, stopped a little bit to readjust. I wasn't at this point. There is a lot of foliage, so it wasn't really visible so far ahead for me, so it was difficult for me to really orient precisely, but well, I tried to keep my direction as much as possible. As previously, here it was very easily runnable. The only distraction to me here are all these narrow rides, but I honestly wasn't really paying too much attention to them because the forest was so well runnable. So I thought I will not run. I will not use these narrow rides to navigate me, let's say. But I must admit that they were a little bit distracting, to be honest. Here again, I was trying to figure out what is this green young forest on my left, but it was too far. Here is the road that I was, that was visible on the map, so that was one of my kind of anchor points. But I must admit that at this point, I wasn't really sure where exactly am I. I was assuming that I'm on these clearings. Now, this was much more clear marker for me, these water lines, let's say. So I assume that I'm on this junction of them, so I continued in this direction. Basically, there were also some paths by runners. Yeah, you saw me fell down. Nice. So I kind of used those and deviated from the direction. Here, I think I was trying to hit that fenced area, or at least get it in my sight, so I know where I am. But to be honest, I didn't notice it. I thought it's somewhere on my left, but it wasn't very clearly visible. Here either I was blind or something. Now, as you can see, my camera angle changed after the fall, so you can see how I navigate and how often I'm checking the map. Here, next anchor point is this road, and then there are these small fenced areas all around. So that was very easy to, grab on and to follow the trail along these, like not paths, but along these navigation points. Why am I slowing? I guess I was tired and there was this little bit of slope here. So as you can see, I'm taking my bearing, checking where exactly I want to go. This was an easy leg because there was this again fenced area and then this non-runnable forest. So I passed through it. That I think there is no question about it. Now usually I get a little lost in these younger forests, like I lose my direction, but here I basically readjusted myself according to the fence that was there, and now I already saw the control because it was very nicely visible from afar. Now I think I had to fold my map differently, and basically again I just took a bearing and tried to run along the line as much as possible. Right now I think my aim was to run around those greenish patches of young forests from the left. I'm not sure when exactly I decided to this strategy, but to be honest, I didn't really think about anything else. I was just here the forest seemed so runnable that I wasn't too much evaluating the ascent and descent, I knew that there will be a slight slight slope up, but it wasn't that. It was still runnable. Here I remember that I was checking if I will see this small pond. I didn't saw it, but I saw some kind of not erosion, like a hill that looked like or this greenish stuff. So I thought that might be it. And then on my right I saw this little bit, different kind of forest, a little bit more dense. So I assume that's me. Here I think I got a little bit lost, and I wasn't 100% sure, because this kind of forest, to me, it looked like a white forest, like a runnable forest. And in the map, you can see that I'm passing it, that it's greenish. But then on my right side, there was this clearing, so I readjusted according to that. And then basically I was aiming to the direction of the next greenish, non-runnable forest, and I decided to go around it from its right side. Basically, I was trying to follow the line to control number 4. So this was still a pretty good direction and execution, in my opinion. Now, here when I was getting around it, I again started, looking for another, let's say, anchor point. I was looking to this greenish forest on my left, that is like on the other side of the road. So I saw that, and I was kind of aiming in that direction now. And I wanted to run as much straight as possible, probably. So when I got to the road, I briefly considered running, along the road all the way, but then I thought that it will be longer distance, and that this forest, again, it's pretty runnable, and I wouldn't be probably much faster. Yeah, here comes the decision. And so I decided to run through the forest, but for some reason I decided to go from the left around this green patch that goes along this water stream. That probably sometimes there is a stream, sometimes not. As you can see, it wasn't the best decision, because now I'm basically running. I'm not really running straight along the line. I'm trying to run around it, and I think I saw another recording through the live logs, and the guy was going more to the left, and there he ran a little bit shorter distance. So here again I'm trying to readjust and I'm trying to get back to the to the line that goes to number 4. I thought that I'm running to the second greenish patch, but then I noticed that there is a fence, so I understood that I'm a little bit too far. And now the decision I was thinking about, do I go from the left or do I go from the right? But then I saw that there is, you know, maybe it didn't look so much runnable, so I decided to go here along the narrow right and then straight along the line. But as you can see, this decision I made on the road was not the best one. I think running around the roads now would be probably the similar distance. You know, the way I executed the second half of this leg wasn't very good. Again, now I was basically aiming to the edge of these greenish areas. There was also the curve of the road, so this was again another kind of an anchor point that I used. And then of course my control was behind this big fenced area, so that was another kind of easy navigation point. And here it was like it was visible from afar, let's say. The only difficulty here that I encountered was this kind of undergrowth, you know. It started around here, there was this not blueberries or not even blackberries, but these viney things. So it was not, at some points it wasn't very runnable, at least not in these erosion gullies, small erosion gullies. But here, well, it was clear that I'm running straight to the control along these erosions, and that I should hit the control without issue, although I didn't see it. Maybe now I saw it, but previously I wasn't so sure. After this long leg, again, I was a little bit tired, so I just walked. Now again, I first of all I took the bearing and tried to run straight, but at some point I got to this road and basically just follow this path, or not a road, it's more of a path. So here I was distracted by this erosion gully. It was still there, but I didn't saw it in the map, so I was a bit confused here. But now I think here I saw this road, so I ran along it, and I think I tried to saw that big stone there. I'm not sure if I did saw it, but this path that I'm running now, that was clear. Again, there is this green non-runnable forest, so that was another, you know, reassurance that I'm on the correct path. Here my control was the ditch behind the stone. That was a little bit like from the map I didn't read it. First I got to this bigger ditch in front of the stone. Since the control was not there, I assumed that it must be the ditch behind it, so I quickly went there. As you can see, I'm always checking the numbers. Here this was one of the longer legs, so again you can see that I'm trying to take a bearing, set my azimuth correctly. Yeah, it's taking me a time, but I'm usually using this time to catch a breath, you know. So now I was, you know, trying to run in that direction of the bearing I took. I was not really... here it was a little bit, let's say, confusing to me, because there was a lot of these green patches, a lot of these features also in the map. So and when you are trying to evaluate where exactly you are, and there is all these green things in the maps, sometimes it's difficult for me to stay focused. Here is the road, so that was probably some kind of anchor point for me, but I think I was a little bit distracted, and I just tried to keep my direction that I was going. So even though I deviated a little bit here, of course I try to avoid this green patch, so that kept me on my line, let's say. Here in this this was kind of a swampy area, but like I would say the swamp was not there. It was just a lot of foliage, so it wasn't really that runnable. Here again are these how you call that, you know, these water lines, but to be honest, I wasn't entirely sure where exactly am I. So for me, the bigger like navigation point here was this kind of hill, let's say, or you know, you are climbing. So for me, I was thinking maybe I'm here. I was trying to look for the stones, but as far as I remember, I didn't really saw them. So to be honest, I thought, okay, let's just continue and run, and you should hit a road. So I was basically trying to get to the road, and I was thinking that when I will get to the road, that will be my anchor point, you know. I didn't even notice this significant tree on my right side, you know. It didn't look so significant. But here, when I got to the road, I looked to the left, I saw the bend. So I thought, okay, I'm here at the bend where I'm going. So I decided to go through this forest again, because it was kind of runnable, although there is a little bit of slope. I saw this clearing, and I saw this clearing also in the map. So I basically continued in the direction. Yeah, here I was checking the clearing. Now I thought, okay, I have to get to the road, or to the, yeah, it's a kind of a road. Maybe you can say it's a bigger road. Vehicles, some tractors would fit it fine, or some terrain car. Here I was thinking maybe to cut it, but then I decided that doesn't make sense. Just go around, find a narrow ride and go along it. So now I was just examining my right side for the narrow ride. Fortunately, it was pretty clear and visible. So here I'm running along it for the most part, and then somewhere in the middle of this narrow ride I started to go, oh, it's not a, yeah, I'm still continuing, yeah, that's how I remember it. But I started to go to the left, you know. I saw that there is this fenced area, this greenish forest. I saw it in the distance, and I knew that my control is a little bit more to the left. So I try to go to that direction, and of course here I got to this second narrow ride. That's why I was looking back just to check on this. Here the control is actually like it looked like a small knoll in the map, but it was actually a small erosion gully, so a little bit confusing, but I did this mistake in my previous race, so I was cautious about it. Now again a long leg to control 7, so I just basically took a bearing, or actually I just continue in my direction. Again here the most difficult part for me was these greenish patches of young forest or you know, new forest, so that kind of distracted me, and I was always just, you know, am I at the right direction, checking the map. And again I continued. I was aiming to the, let's say, bigger young forest, non-runnable forest. I wanted to go around this hill from the left side. You can see that there are a lot of narrow rides, so that's where I'm basically aiming. Maybe there was another possibility that I'm looking at it now, you know, to go around it from the right side along that greenish fenced areas, and then go along the road. I guess that would be also a good execution, because you wouldn't have to really climb to the top. Here I was, you know, partly running more to my left just to go diagonally, and so I don't have to climb so much. As you can see, I'm trying to run as much as possible, but when I was getting to this ridge, I already was walking because of, you know, I wasn't totally exhausted, but you need to catch your breath. So here I readjusted myself a little bit again, but honestly I just then used one of that narrow rides to get to the big road. Here it was nice. These rocks, it looked nice. And here is the narrow ride that I then just followed. I think I should have followed it all the way, but at some point I deviated a little bit to the left. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I was trying to follow the line from that is between 6 and 7, but here I was already thinking that I will go more to my right side, let's say, and that I will go along these paths and roads, and just here I still was not super sure where exactly is that fence and greenish area that I want to hit. So it became apparent here, so I just followed this road. Didn't make much sense to run, you know, straight through this forest. And then because the control 7 is basically behind the hill, I decided to go along this fenced area that is on my right, because there is not that much big climb, and yeah, probably somewhere around here comes the decision. Yeah. And I thought that I will run all the way this narrow ride, but then somewhere in the middle I started deviating, and I thought that I'm at this that I'm at the end of it, and that there is this cliff. So I was also looking for this cliff, but I didn't saw it. So that was a little bit concerning for me, but I thought, okay, maybe I'm not that far yet. And then I saw that kind of a clearing. So I just continued in my direction, and I just started to look more about you know, how this how the terrain looks like. You know, I was like, okay, this is probably the clearing. There in the front is the top, so I'm probably here. So I just followed now basically the direction to the top. Here I'm looking for the cliff, but I didn't saw it. There was a control for kids probably that I saw as well, but here I'm closing in and I started to see this rock. So that was some kind of anchor point for me now, and from this point I started going to the left, straight, almost straight to the control, and I saw there was a person, so that was somehow, you know, a lead for me that the control will be there. To control 8, again, there is not much, I would say. First I generally started following that guy who left the control, but then again, as you can see, I'm taking bearing and I'm trying to run along the bearing. Of course, I'm trying to avoid you know, the non-runnable forests, and as you can see, there was a lot of runners going uphill. There was already a path from these other runners. Then here again I saw the fenced area on my right side. Here this greenish let's say forest, it looked like the one that is in my map, but to be honest, I was aiming for that bigger patch that is on my left. Here, as you can see, I kind of deviated and I think I got a little bit lost. So I just followed the direction of that guy, and I thought that I should hit that forest there. But I just saw it from in the distance. As you can see, I'm very much far from it. Now here, I'm not sure if my GPS is wrong or I'm in the wrong position, but as you can see, there is a maybe you don't see it, but to me it looked like on my right side now is this small hill, and I thought, okay, so I'm on this small hill that's on, but I was actually already behind it, you know. Now I'm going down, and here again there are these small greenish patches that are kind of disturbing to me, so I wasn't sure where am I, but then when I was catching my breath and trying to figure out where exactly I am, I got to this narrow right, and I finally saw this gamekeeper's you know, like stand, whatever. Here another fall. I think I tripped over some branch, and I finally readjusted my camera, so maybe now it will be a little bit more pleasant to watch. Here again to number 9, I thought I will just run along the mountain basically straight. The control 9 was with the refreshments, so, and it was right, it was visible from the arena, so I basically knew that I'm running to the arena, so that made it a little bit easier, let's say. Again here, let's say I was trying to avoid some, you know, this hatched non-runnable area, but it went well here, not much to say. The other kind of an anchor point was this bigger patch of the non-runnable forest, so I was generally aiming to that one. I think it was already visible now, a little bit in front of me. I was aiming to go around it from the left side, as you can see. So again, this was kind of not negotiable, like that easy, you know, like it was difficult. It wasn't difficult. Now the difficult, let's say, part was how to get through this through all this greenish stuff here. So I just ran into it, and I was, you know, already seeing the parts of the arena, so I just was trying to get to it. Then the control was in this kind of a ditch, so that was again quite easy. These girls were very nice.
Zvládnete už jenom kousek určitě. Jo. Máte kamerku?
Anyways, now I was just first thought was, yeah, let's get into the forest, you know, into the runnable forest here. The first part was, you know, a little bit overgrown with all that viney stuff and young trees. Now I think I just took a bearing again. Here in front of me is this like kind of a clearing with the trees inside of it, so that was the first aiming point. Then behind it there was this fence area. I'm not sure if I saw the fence, but it was on my right, so that was okay, but it was a little bit confusing. That's why I'm walking. I guess I somehow got confused by it. Then there is on my left this big fenced area, and I kind of get drawn to it too much, as you can see. So I deviated from my original direction quite a bit, to be honest. That as I see it now, and because of all these narrow rides, I also wasn't very sure, and I didn't want to follow them. You know, I wanted to, you know, focus on the direction, so I just focus on it. And here I remember that I had a glimpse on my right of some person, or it was a control. And here I wasn't so sure where I am, and partly because of this, all of these narrow rides. But then I decided to go and check on that control that I saw, and it was my control. And here it was also, I think, like apparent that there is this vegetation boundaries. So, but so that kind of led me to the control. Also, the other people. Now there, in front of me, there is some small boy. I'm not sure if he was injured or not, but I kind of put the responsibility to the older lady that was going there. She looked like she's not even racing. She was just, you know, checking the controls maybe. Here I'm just probably tired, taking breath, readjusting myself. So I passed this swampy area and then ran to the green patches, basically the young forests. So they were visible from here pretty clearly, so it was like it was easy to get there. And to control 12, that was more interesting, let's say, path. Or there I had to make some kind of decision, really. And when I looked at the map, it seemed to me that the best way is to go straight and to go around those clearings, let's say. So first of all, I just took a bearing and started running. You know, when I will start running, I'm still not running. I guess I was just evaluating what is this greenish stuff on my right side. Then I understood that it's this swampy area, and it was mixed with the green as well. So when I figured that out, I finally started running. Well, I'm not sure how much I lost, but I assume it was just a couple of seconds. It wasn't that much. Now again, I'm kind of aiming to that, you know, non-runnable forest, or the forest with narrow rides. So it's definitely runnable because of this, because you can run through the narrow rides. But for some reason, I guess it looked like it's going uphill, and it wasn't the shortest way to control 12 probably. So I decided to just go around the way this lady goes, and go around these clearings. So here I was able to run. Now there comes this little slope, and I had to stop and just start walking. I will get back to running in a minute when I catch my breath. So here, as you can see, just following my strategy, go along the clearing, then there is this greenish patch. I was also a little bit intrigued by the terrain, and then I finally understood that there is this small kind of valley or erosion, so that was again let's say kind of a lead for me how to get to control 12. But here nothing much to nothing much to be concerned about. There is this green non-runnable forest on my right, so you just go along it until you hit the road. Well, as I said, you more or less walk. Here it was a little bit like downward, so I ran a little bit. Now again it started to climb, so it's more of a walk than a run. Terrible physique. But I don't know. I'm basically not able to run. Again, here I was thinking maybe I can run along the road, but then it seemed like, let's go straight. Then there was this stone, so that was it was nice, that you are running in the proper direction. And then here is the fence area again, so I was like, okay, I'm going straight around it. So I'm just walking because I'm tired, catching my breath. Now, of course, I was closing in to the control. I knew that it's some kind of big rock. So I probably started to follow this guy because he was aiming probably to the same control. And yeah, it wasn't here. It was clear that the control is there. I just didn't saw it yet. Although you can see it on the camera, I think I saw it just now when he punched it. Now again here taking a bearing always, but it was clear that I have to avoid this non-runnable forest first, and then it will open like this runnable forest. And I had this guy in front of me, so that was again kind of leading me to the direction, because apparently, as you can see, he's running the same course that I do, because he's running in the same direction. And here I saw the big boulder, so I knew that I'm on the right track. Then I remember that it was at first I thought that it's the stone, but then it was this knoll. So and here it was visible, so it was easy. And well, now again kind of taking a bearing, but I saw that guy running in that direction, so I thought, yeah, it must be there. Not sure why it took me so long. Here again the forest was clean, and you can see that some people were, you know, like climbing up from a ditch from afar, so I just followed the direction. That was funny. I didn't have to really orienteer much. Here, I think because of this guy, my concentration got a little bit looser, and I just started following him, let's say. Originally, my plan was to run more to the left, let's say, and here I got a little bit lost, so I just decided to follow him, let's say. I was like, okay, this is the road, that's fine, but I wanted to run into a white forest. Here I'm in some greenish patches. But I just followed him, and I knew that the direction is correct, so I thought, okay, let's just run that way. And now we got into this open white forest, so it was clear that I'm in the right position. Not again, but I also noticed there is this gamekeeper's goal and these rocks, so I was just kind of aiming into the corner of this open forest, and I was like, okay, let's just fight it through and get to the road. It wasn't, you know, probably it wasn't the best decision. I could have run on the roads since the very beginning. Here, as you can see, I'm slowed down by the vegetation. It's not really a fast run, it's more of a fast walk. But here I saw the road, so I started running, and I pushed as much as I could, but you know, it's like 50 minutes into the race, so I was already, you know, kind of tired. So I'm not really sprinting. This is like my usual run when I go for my own run, let's say, for a training. I guess I'm running slightly faster than when I just go for the run. Here, at first I thought that I will just follow the road all the way and then take that narrow right, but then I saw this vegetation boundary, and because it was so clearly visible, I just decided to follow it. And again, you know, this forest was so runnable that I thought, well, it makes no big difference to run through the forest or on the road. So maybe, yes, I'm a little bit slower, but the navigation in this kind of forest was not very easy, but it was easy for me. You know, you got these green patches on your right side. Yes, you see them. Then I saw this clearing in front of me. Yes, so that's clear. I'm going basically in that direction, and then I should get to this narrow right and slightly left, and that should be my control. And it was clearly visible from like 50 or 100 meters. The ditch that is here is very shallow, you know, so if it was like before, covered with the grass, then it would be difficult, but here it was easy. Now I guess I was just so tired that I had to stop a little bit and readjust myself, although I'm basically running to the last control, and I can just, you know, push it straight. But yeah, I took my time, took the bearing, and yeah, ran straight to this path and then along the path to the finish. So basically this race was like, I enjoyed it, although it was very physically demanding, you know, like when there are more hills I tend to walk more, and it doesn't feel that difficult. Here for the most part I think I was running, and it felt really physically demanding. I spent like, I guess like 50%, maybe more, in my red zone when I was checking my heart rate. So it was really demanding for me. But also it was very enjoyable because the forest was very nice, very runnable, not so much parts that were, you know, cluttered with branches, and that was nice. Honestly, half of the race I was not sure if I punched all the previous controls, so I was just here when I was taking the readout, I was straight checking if I did it okay, because I wasn't sure I punched everything. And I started somewhere in front of all the pack, and I came first from the 7th that finished, so that was nice. And at the end I kept my first place and I won the race. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you learned something and enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to watch more of my videos, and bye.